Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables and welcome to another video in my book talk series. I've been doing a lot of these as of recently because there is a lot to talk about when it comes to book talk. You know, books that are hyped, books that are not hyped, do they live up to that hype, do they not, you know, so on, so on. I've done several of these before. I've done a video of book talk books that are hyped that I have not read yet. I did a book talk video where I talked about books that I think are worth the hype. And what do you know? Today we're going to do the complete opposite. We're going to talk about book talk books that are hyped that I think don't live up to the hype. Now, as always, let's start this video out with a disclaimer because we always have to do that because you never know, you never know. If I talk about any book today that you love and adore and cherish with your whole heart, I think that is awesome. You do you and be the best you can be. Just because we have different tastes doesn't mean we have to hate each other by any means. I'm sure there are some books that you've read that you've hated that I've loved and vice versa. That's exactly what this is. Everyone has different tastes. I have best friends that we like the same books and she'll like a book and I'll be like, no, that's horrible. And she's like, what the heck? Did we end our friendship? No, we did not. We're still best friends because people can have different taste. Okay, great. There's my disclaimer. Moving on. Today we're gonna talk about some books that are hyped up on Book Talk, and for what reason, I don't know, because I don't get it. So first of all, we're going to talk about one that is most fairly obvious to probably everyone on this channel, and that is Colleen Hoover. Hello. Hello. If you don't know, I'm not a fan of Colleen Hoover, and I can't say that I've always been that way. No, Colleen Hoover has always been kind of big. In the booktube community, when I first started like 10, 11 years ago, who can remember? I don't know. I'm 35. I'm old, okay? She was an indie author and she blew up on Book Talk, or she blew up on Booktube, so I decided to see what the hype was. So I did read Ugly Love. I read November 9. November 9. I did read It Ends With Us, and is that all the ones I've read by her? I don't know. Either way, I've read, I want to say, like 4 or 5 of her books, and I did like them. I think November 9, I gave 5 out of 5. Would I change that? Absolutely. Probably the same with It Ends With Us, because I have learned that Colleen Hoover just writes really toxic relationships, like not good, healthy relationships at all. So I don't understand why she keeps getting hyped. I get that her reading's addictive. I totally understand it because I have read them myself and I understand it, but I just don't get why people love these so much. I really honestly don't. Like, I cannot fathom it. And the fact that she's blown up again on Book Talk, one side of me is like, great, good for you. That every author wants to have that. Like, I'm genuinely happy for her. The other side, I'm like, why are we reading her? I don't know. It's so conflicting because I know she has a huge fan base and I do not want them to come for me because am I happy they love her books? Sure, I think that's great. I think the thing with me, with Colleen Hoover, is like just her relationships are not good and healthy. Like, and I don't see why we covet them and how we put them on a pedestal because I don't think these are the type of relationships that we should be doing. And I think she acknowledges it with It Ends With Us because she has another one. It Begins With Us or Starts With Us. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. If you like her, great. I don't. Moving on to one I read a couple years ago because everyone was talking about it. A movie was coming out. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. And it was like, okay, it's not horrible by any means. It's just like, I don't get what all the fuss was about. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I don't. It was okay. Was it mind blowing? Was it earth shattering? Did it rock me to my core? No, it did not. It was interesting, I'll say. This is about a girl that grows up, like she's the Marsh girl. It's like the 60s and 70s and she maybe gets accused of murder. And it was interesting. It was a page turner. There were slow parts of it, but I don't even see why it needed to be a movie. I haven't watched the movie. I don't think it was that intriguing of a book to be a movie, but that's just me. I think once you put a certain celebrity like Reese Witherspoon's book club on it, it will blow up. Sometimes she picks good ones. I'm not going to lie. First Line Wins by Ashley Elston. Amazing. Love it. But sometimes I think she does not hit it in the park. And this one, it was okay. It wasn't like I'm not going to bash it and be like, this was the worst book ever. No, it was decent. I just don't think it lived up to the hype that everyone else was projecting it to be. That's just me. Again, I'll say that 50 times, so get ready for it. Next up, we have a romance, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Everyone read this last year. I think I read this last year. Again, it was okay. This is adult romance. I would say it's more new adult because it takes place in college. It is hellaciously long. Like if you want some long freaking romance books, Booktok is the perfect place for you because you're going to find a whole friggin' bunch. Need to be this long? No, it's over 400 pages. That's a long romance. Like that's long. I usually don't love long romances. Sometimes I do. I'm not going to say I don't always, but a lot of times I don't. This one was about an ice hockey captain and a figure skater, and they kind of have will they won't they, and that's all it is. It was okay. Wasn't anything to write home about. Speaking of long romance books, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This one blew up, and so I was like, I'll read it. And again, I was like, it's okay. Like, not that great. I don't see why everyone's freaking out about it. Again, hellaciously long. It was a Grumpy Meets Sunshine, and it just took forever for them to get together. And I was like, I don't even care anymore. I don't know. Will I read any more of her books? I don't know. I didn't hate it by any means, like I said. It was just okay. For it to get insanely hyped up like it did, I don't think it needed to be, if that... so controversial what I'm saying here, because everyone's got their different opinions. Somebody could have read this and been like, this was the most earth-shattering romance ever. And I'm like, great, I'm happy for you. I didn't feel that way reading it, and that's why it's on this video. Do you hate me yet? Speaking of, here's one that I really did not like, and I really don't understand where the hype came from it. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Jennifer L. Armentrout has again been around a while in the book community. She had a big, was it like an alien, like kind of Twilight series for YA? I can't remember, but it was big. And so when I heard about From Blood and Ash and it was a vampire romance, I was like, heck freaking yeah, because we all know this girl right here is obsessed with vampires. Angel, Spike, Edward, like I love vampires, okay? So for any sort of vampire romance, I will immediately read it. And this one, oh my gosh. When I say nothing happens, I mean nothing happens. I think it was like an arranged marriage. No, it wasn't. That's not even the right book I'm thinking of. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. It's basically about a girl that falls in love with like a vampire, and he was supposed to be like her bodyguard or something like that, or she was supposed to be a maiden. I don't know, but nothing happens. And I think there's 2 more books in this series, and I'm going to guess that nothing happens in it. It wasn't romantic vampire at all. Like the fact that it gets like talked about as like one of the best vampire romances, I genuinely do not understand it. Like I cannot comprehend that. I don't get it. I don't love bashing. I really don't. But sometimes I guess you just got to do it. And so I just really didn't like this one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Moving on. Quickly to one that I read a very long time ago. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This came out in like, I want to say 2014, and I read it and I think I loved it because it was a YA mystery thriller that had a big twist. Like back then I was like, this is amazing. And now I'm like, no, it's not. Like, it's just resurfaced to be very popular again, and I don't understand it. It's a very short one, I'll say that. But the big twist at the end was just, I feel like very, I don't know. I just don't think this one lives up to the hype. That's just my opinion. It's not one of the worst. It's just one that I think of that I'm like, I don't get it, but I'm happy for you, I guess. I have Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This is a romance series that I've read the first book in because everyone kept talking about it. Again, this is kind of, I don't want to say it's a toxic relationship. I loathed the love interest in this first book so much that I just did not like it. It was like he was this tortured man that had a really rocky past, but he made lots of money. Like I think he's like, I made my first million when I was 13. And I was like, okay, like I wasn't doing that at 13. I was freaking reading Harry Potter in my middle school library, like watching the Rosie O'Donnell show when they first started doing the movies. Like that's what I was doing. What were you doing? Making $1 million at 13? I don't know. It just, I don't know. It baffled me. It was like a forbidden love because he was her brother's best friend, and it just, I did not get it. It's very, very steamy, not my type of steam whatsoever. You know, it was a little bit too much for me. I don't know. I did not like it at all, and I don't get the hype with it. I really don't, but again, good for you. Then I'll end with one that I used to really love when I was a YA reader, and that I could maybe still love, but looking back on it now, I'm like, I don't know. And that is the Shatter Me series by Tahara Mafi. I've read all of them. I was addicted to them when I was younger, but now I'm like, I don't know. She did the twist with love interest in the second book, and I just don't feel like it was very well done looking back on it now. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I maybe have to reread these, but I really don't want to, if I'm honest with you. But just know, I just know that it's getting hyped up again. And I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I think there's a lot of other great YA series that I think should be hyped up more, like Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Amazing. We don't hear nearly enough about it. The Sive series by Neil Shusterman. Amazing. Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Again, amazing. What's another YA series that I love and adore that I think does not get enough hype? I don't know. I don't read a lot of YA. I used to, but I didn't. Oh, Victoria Schwab's, I want to say The Savage Song, the Monster series, amazing. But there's a lot of other series, like fantasy YA series, I think are way leaps and bounds better than Shatter Me. But I don't know. I just didn't get it. I still don't get it. That's it. I'm sure there are other ones that I'm forgetting because I do not agree with a lot of Booktok's recommendations. But now, you know, then again, I did a whole video of hype books on Booktok that I do agree with. So it gets it right. It's like a 50-50 shot. You know, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So these books, if I talked about again, if you've read any of these and you love them and adore them, I'm happy for you. You keep on loving them and you keep being the conductor on that train ride for them and have a great time. Like, I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy for you. No sarcasm. Like, I am super happy for you. I personally did not like them, and that is okay. I don't understand why they got the hype that they did, but, you know, I guess if somebody out there loves them, then that's worth it, I guess. You know, so I don't know. Either way, I would love to know what books are hyped up on Booktok that you think are also not worth the hype. And you can mention some ones that I probably love. Will I hate you? No, I won't, my friend. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.